it's all fair, only to find that the favorites are given better percentages paid.
To sell their houses on their own. But if sales picks up that you're selling consistently,
Please tell us your name, your surname, where you're from, and why this industry.
I'm Tobowani Makubela, born and bred in Chakuma. Chakuma it's a village in Venda. Now married to a Tsonga guy from Malamulele. Well, I went into property after we ventured into flipping properties. Actually, someone, I would say a friend of mine who happens to be our investor as well, came up with an idea. Let's try property. Let's see if we can buy properties from auctions. That's how we got in. Once we got into the auction sector, we realized there's more to learn from this. So that's when I decided to join a reputable property agent in Pretoria West, called Shobi Properties. That's where I'm serving as an intern.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And so someone who's looking at this, so we're doing a master class on all things property. What is of interest to me in this field is you are not young. People would expect an intern to be someone young in their early 20s to do an intern, and you obviously switched to come to this industry. How difficult is it to do, and what did you do before you did this?
I'm a qualified environmental geologist. So basically I have an honors in environmental geology, finalizing my honors in environmental management. I also have a national diploma. I'll say it's a diploma in project management and a few other certificates.
So you well-rounded?
Yes, I'm well-rounded in that sector, that is.
So how does your prior other qualifications assist you in the work that you are doing now, especially as a helicopter view of watching the industry and watching new developments and which properties to invest in? Tell me, how does it link?
Initially, with geology is very vast. So I was also doing geotechnical engineering as well. Geotechnical engineering is an investigation of the soil. So we also used to do these geological investigations in residential development sites. So that's where I developed my interest, because you'd be asking around how this process goes. The developers will always explain the process to you and so forth. But as time went on, we realized that no, man, starting from buying from a developer will be more expensive than going into auctioning. Auctioning mostly is repossessed houses. Majority, I would say 95% of the houses that you get from auctions would be repossessed. With some, it's just a quick sale. So we ventured into that. Once we ventured into that, we decided that no, man, let's also explore other sectors, because property is vast. There's property developers. We've got auctioneers. Auctioneers also fall under property practitioners as well. There's auctioneers. There's sellers. There are those who specifically deal with rentals and so forth. So we started with auctioning, with buying from auctions. That will be flipping properties. You buy at a lower rate, because the bank just want to get rid of the property. They do not really look at the gains or the profit. You buy from the auctions, you renovate, you resell. Once you renovate, the value goes up, so you resell. Once we started reselling, that's when we realized, oh man, we can always venture into property selling as well, since it's part of it. That's when Barbara Babela.
So before you go to Barbara Babela, so the question I asked you, because I want us, before you discuss what you're discussing now, I want us to take it a step by step in terms of how do you qualify and stuff. I was asking you the geological experience that you had and your teaching. How did it motivate you to come into this? You are a realtor, ne? You are intended to be a realtor.
Yes.
So what motivated you to do this in the field? Did something spark you to come here, or can someone do it? I just want you to answer it in both ways.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They're quite different sectors. The only relationship that they have is that of geotechnical investigations. But still, anyone from any walk of life can easily venture into this kind of business, because you do not need any background for you to qualify to be in this sector. All you need to do or to know is the information that you will get either from the internet of people, that these are the steps that you need to follow. Other than that, you do not need any background.
Okay, it's fine. So you say anyone can do it.
Yes.
Now let's talk about that. If someone wants to be a realtor like you, and where do they start? Where do they go? What are they going to ask of these people once they get there? Let's start there.
I would advise someone who's interested in selling houses to, the first step will be to approach a property agency. Any property agency, preferably in your area, because you want to have access to them any time of the day. You go and ask them if they can mentor you, if you can join them as an intern. Once they agree and you sign an agreement with them, they register you with PPRA, Property Practitioners Regulations Agency.
So they have to register you. You can't go there by yourself.
You can approach the PPRA, but the PPRA would advise you to join under a property agency.
Okay, no, thanks.
You can't do it on your own.
Continue, thanks.
Because the principal practitioner has to fill a form and sign as part of consent that they will train you. They are the ones who will train you. Because the thing is, the PPRA wants you to be trained by a qualified person. So for that to happen, that person needs to sign a consent form stating that this person is falling under our property agency, and we are going to train this person for the next 12 months.
So it takes 12 months?
It takes 12 months.
Okay.
For you to transition from intern to a property practitioner.
Okay. And who is not allowed, or who is allowed? So could anyone do it? Because what I want to understand, because it's a master class, is I want everyone who's watching to say, hey man, why am I sitting here when people are making, because the money will talk at the end, but like how lucrative is it will talk at the end. But I want to understand who can come into this.
Anyone can come in. Anyone can come in. Anyone from any background.
So even if I don't have matric, what are the thresholds?
Basically, if you do not have a matric, I haven't really researched the part matric, but I know from grade 10 there are some certificates that you need to do for you to get to a point of NQF level 4.
So there are NQF levels for someone to come into this?
Yes.
Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll just put the qualifications criteria here, because you don't have the answer on top of your head.
Yes.
And then, so what else? Where do you go from there? I agree you would have been under the tutelage of a qualified practitioner. And then when do you become a realtor that you could do it yourself?
After 12 months, basically what happens is, while you're busy practicing, while they're busy training you, you also be filling what is called a logbook. In a logbook, it entails what you've been trained on, what you've been busy with, what trainings have you done in terms of maybe certificates or just workshops, and then that in itself would qualify you to be a practitioner.
Okay. After 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a practitioner, do you still need to go under an agent? And what is an agent?
Yes, you still need to go under an agent. Yes, you can do it on your own, but you cannot necessarily own a property agency without doing PDE 5. Because PDE 5 is for those who want to
Start
go
hiring people under them.
Yeah, start hiring people under them. If you want to be a principal agent, you need to go and write the PDF 5, the PDE 5. PDE 5 is an exam that you write if you want to get to that level. After you've written that exam, it is then that you also register a company, submit to the PPRA, and see, they'll check and see if you qualify. Unfortunately, criminal records do come into account. They do interfere in when you get to such a level.
Okay. So there are disqualifying measures for someone to become one.
Yes.
Okay.
Cases like fraud.
All right. It's fine. Now let's talk the monies.
Mm-hmm.
Someone sitting there will ask you, I'm an intern. I sell a house for 1 million. How much do I get? Because people listening, this is the part they want. I sell a house for 1 million because you are still an intern.
Yes.
Through. How much is you supposed to get?
Most property agencies have different interest rate for their commissions, depending on how developed they are. With show B, mostly we start at 8%. We start at 8% all the way to 9.5 or even more, depending on different cases. That is. So, let's say, I'll give you an example. Say the show B properties is getting 8% of a million. Let's say the house is worth a meter. If the house is a meter, show B properties is going to get 8%, and the client themselves, the house seller, is going to get 92% of the amount that's going to come in. With that 8%, show B would maybe have an agreement with the intern as to how much they will split. Obviously, in most cases, the property agency will either take more or equal. In this case, I'm not allowed to say how much should be offers because it varies.
Okay.
It's either the property agency will either get more or equal. In most cases, they are fair because these are conditions that are discussed beforehand. Say, for example, show B is getting 50% and the intern is getting 50%. Show B takes the 50%, which will be 4% of that 8%, and then the intern will take the other 4%, given that there's a deduction for tax, minus tax, that is.
On both sides?
On both sides.
Okay. I think what we'll do is we'll break it down in numbers so it makes sense for our colleagues at home who want to do this.
Okay.
So my audience, I'm speaking for them now, would honestly appreciate these numbers being quantified. So for argument's sake, so an intern is someone who doesn't get stipend, because we know the word intern and apprentice gets a stipend. They don't, right?
No, they don't.
They don't. Is it an
It's not
industry
compulsory.
or it depends on these agencies? The industry norm.
It's an industry norm because it's not necessarily compulsory.
Okay.
Especially if you're not signed in to the company as a permanent
Okay,
employee.
makes sense. So I'm sorry. So the intern must hit the ground running if they wants to start earning an income. But in a way, it's just school fees, right? Okay, so let me continue. So we spoke about 1 million rands, right?
Yes.
1 million rand as a figure that's not confusing. I'm an intern. I sell a 1 million rand house, and about 8%, you say, between 8 and 9.5%, depending on which agency you are with, and then you get about 8%. So 8% would give us 80,000 rand. In the 80,000 rand, if the agreed split between an agent and is 50%,
Yes.
so it means the agency will get 40,000, and the intern will get 40,000.
Yes.
And then they apply tax. Number one, what kind of tax is it, and what are the industry percentages that range in all of the questions that we were asking? Do you know of any?
The industry ranges will be between around 8%. I'm talking about the majority of the agencies.
Yes.
It will be between 8% and 11%,
Okay.
depending on how developed they are. With the tax, it's, what do they call it?
Is it VAT or pay as you earn?
Pay as you earn.
So do they get the normal pay as you earn like all employees?
Yes.
All right, I think we'll just put pay as you earn percentages here. So the more the intern sells, the more they get this money.
Correct.
Okay, you have to serve 12 months. From after 12 months, you become what?
A property practitioner.
That's what's called a realtor.
Yes.
So these realtors, do they now start earning basic salary plus commission?
No, it still depends on your agreement with the company. Because, look, when you get to that section, to that point, to that level, you decide whether you want to sell the houses on your own or you still want to stay under a property agency. But if you're still staying with the property agency, every property agency has its own rules. They can decide to keep you on the same conditions as the intern, or maybe if they see that we've got a gem here, they might employ you on a full-time basis.
Oh, as a way of keeping you.
Yeah, as a way of keeping you.
All right, it's fine. So these retention things are very important. When you become a realtor, you start earning better percentages, or is that when you say it depends if they'll give you the same conditions or what? Because I want to understand, because I promised my audience that we will find positions, jobs, things that will uplift African people.
Yes.
A lot of these industries in townships would be us Africans. And then once you go to suburbs where the big monies are, you'll find agencies owned by white people. I'm deliberately asking these percentages to say, would it happen that, because you will not regulate, because this thing is almost like a salary. If it's Tobuani who gets 12-15%, when he sells the house, and if it's Mashiane with the same qualifications and even better qualifications, then he's given 7%. That might be a case somewhere.
Yes.
Do you have ombudsman or whatever regulators who come and say, but anyone who qualifies this is the minimum threshold, you must give them these percentages? You'll understand this is why I'm asking all of these questions, because someone will get into this industry thinking it's all regulated, it's all fair, only to find that the favorites are given better percentages per selling of a house, unlike the other ones. Do you know of any? And do you know of any laws that compel these companies to be fair?
Yes, we've got the Property Practitioners Regulatory Agency, previously EAAB. That's the ombudsman that regulates this whole industry, that things are done square and fairly. They regulate from making sure that the company is legit, and that the company also open a trust account, because when the money from the buyers comes in, it doesn't come directly to the property agency. It goes straight into the trust account.
Or it then split from there to say, agency, here's yours. You are registered realtor or intern. Here's your money. It's split before it comes to the coffers of the agency.
Yes.
Oh no, it makes sense.
That's after all the processes are done by conveyancers, bond attorneys, the bank, and so forth.
Does the industry bind you? The president of the country is over 60 years old. Is what we call in South Africa, we call them people working on retirement, because they're supposed to have taken their pension, sitting at home as pensioners, but they are working. Is this industry, so I'm a photographer, because I'm a photographer, I can do jobs even after I'm 60.
True.
As if I'm fit enough to do it. Does your industry cater for people who are, let's say, for example, there's a 50-year-old who's listening to this, to say, I can invest my 5 years in learning this and doing money, and I can work on it until I'm 65, 70. Is it possible?
No, it doesn't limit anyone. This industry, the good thing about this industry is that it's very flexible as far as education and age is concerned. You can work as far, you can push yourself as far as you want, as long as you're well within the regulations. As long as you're following the rules, you're doing everything properly according to the regulations, there shouldn't be any challenges.
So I got into a situation where I needed to change my my bond, and they called this property evaluator, and we made several calls, and he's a white man. He came, and when we get there, I realized this guy is very old, and I started thinking, well, what qualification does he need to do this? I mean, he was taking pictures with his phone and stuff. So I realized that maybe just about everyone can do this. So do they fall what are they called? Are they called evaluators?
Evaluators also fall under property practitioners.
So is it something that you branch off after doing, or they've got a new stream of doing that job?
Not necessarily. Basically, it's all about in-house training and any other courses that you might want to do in that line. So basically, it's just like me. If I qualify as a property practitioner, and I've been trained in how to evaluate properties, I can also do that because I'm a property practitioner, and property practitioners covers even the evaluators as well.
Okay. So meaning there's no special qualification for anyone to be that, as long as you are exposed.
As long as you're exposed.
Because like I say, so he was working for the bank. I'm just saying, if I raise my hand, the bank is not going to appoint me. So on what basis did they appoint him? Based on his qualification as a
With the banks, it depends on which industry you're working for. If you say you want to work with the bank, you must do some sort of a course that will enable you to do proper evaluations. You must have some sort of experience in that line of work. So if you are to be employed by these other sections like your bank, you must have at least a grade 12 and some sort of qualification for you to qualify to go into that section. But if you're still under the property agency, you do not necessarily to have all of that.
Okay.
Depends on which section you're working for. Because let's look at it this way. With property section, it's more based on experience and a bit of training.
Okay.
And it's more commission based.
Okay.
It doesn't really focus on full-time employment, hence the flexibility. But now, if you're going to be employed by another professional body, their rules have to apply. Because here is the PPRA regulating this, their rules apply. Those are their rules. But if you want to branch over to another section, their rules apply as well.
Okay, thank you. So let's do this. Now let's branch off a bit. We want the people who are at home, who've got houses, who wants to sell it. So if I have a house and I want to sell it, but I'm thinking if I sell it through an agency, that agency might get that 50% before VAT that we spoke about.
Yes.
That would be around 50,000. Someone wants to say, well, let me sell my house as my own agent. So they won't qualify until they are what we call an intern, for example. So if I have a need to do it, how long does it take?
You mean if you want to sell the house yourself?
Yes, and I want to sell the house myself, but I want to cash in all the money so I don't lose out. Does the industry allow me to do that, or will I be playing a referee and play at the same time? So meaning I'm selling my own house, but I'm also getting a cut as a seller.
As a seller.
As a seller.
I think
Is it possible?
we should put into considering the fact that property practitioners are service providers.
Okay.
It's like, let's say, for example, with a photographer, you can say, oh, I've got an iPhone. Smangma, take a photo of me.
Yes.
Maybe they know how to pose and all that. Then
Yes.
there's a professional photographer
Yes.
whom you have to pay for the services for extra specs.
Yes.
So in this case, there are a lot of sections that you need to go through. Property practitioners have vast experience and info in this industry. So basically, they can fast track your process to an extent wherein you get to where you want to be on time.
Okay. It's fine.
At a fee.
All right.
But you yourself can sell the house yourself with the assistance of the bank, the bond attorneys, the conveyancers, and the bond calculators.
So in other words, you are answering in both ways. Number one, you are saying you could sell your house without having an agency. That's number
Yes,
one.
yes.
Number two, you are saying you could fast track the sale of the house via an agent without losing much money. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
I see you ran away from the question that I asked you, because the original I was asking you if you, the one who wants to sell your own home,
Yes.
can you sell your own home as a realtor?
Me as a realtor, yes, I can.
Oh, so
And I get the commission plus the other percentage will go to the agency.
okay. So in other words, can you? Because this is what people want to know. I think is it Titimba? I don't know what he does, but he sells houses. Can I buy? Let's say you are a realtor. Can you buy houses and sell them and still get all these cuts that you are talking about?
Yes, you can
So
sell.
there's nothing that binds you.
Let me just explain that part.
Okay, yeah, please do.
Individuals are able to sell their houses on their own. But if SARS picks up that you're selling consistently, then there'll be repercussions. Because now it is a business. It needs to be registered.
I understand.
But
Thank
if
you
you personally, you want to sell, maybe you want to upgrade and you decide to sell this house, yes, you can sell the house. But now the reason for the regulation of this is for those people who want to run a business at a personal level. They cannot do that continuously without getting caught somewhere along the way, because it will always ping at SARS that this person sold the house. Where did they get the money from? Another business? Because all those things are registered. Where you get the money to buy the house, how much you're selling it for, how many number of houses you've sold so far, in what period of time are you selling those houses? All that counts.
Okay.
Because at a certain period, it needs to be converted into a business, a property agency.
All right. So, by all intents and purposes, a realtor can sell their own house.
Yes.
All right. I think we are closing now. So tell someone, how do they quickly make sure that their house picks up its value? If you are evaluated today and your house is 900,000 and you want to raise it quickly to 1 million because you need to go, what are the things that you need to do? Like general's one.
It's quite simple. With that, it's all about cab appeal. Cab appeal, we're talking about how the house looks at first glance. It could be
what do you call it?
cab appeal.
Cab appeal.
Cab. Mm.
Okay.
Cab appeal. Cab appeal is the first impression.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a house's first impression. It's the first impression. If it's neat, you need to make sure that the yard is neat, even on the outside. Maybe grow a garden, some sort of a garden. It could be a lawn and a few flowers here and there. Keep it clean. Maybe if you look into your area and realize, majority of people who are in need of this have cars. Maybe they might need a carport. Maybe put in a carport, renovate. Renovation could be just painting, but the cheapest way of doing it is just to renovate, paint, fix everything that's broken in the house. Because especially for first-time buyers, they also look into that because they are comparing it to these bond houses, which are brand new. Now they want to come and buy your house, which is not brand new. It should be something closer to it for it to be able to compete with new developed house. So it's just about renovations and renovations and cab appeal in most cases, and make sure that everything in the house works properly, and also get a COC. It's an electrical certificate. Just to approve that the electrical system is in place.
So who must have it there?
The owner of the house. The owner of the house, if they have gas stoves, if they have access to gas, they should have a certificate. Electrical fences, there should be a certificate for that. And then the electricity in the house, if you have a pool, approval certificates from the municipality and so forth, then you're done. But still, people can still buy houses without some of the certificates. The most important one is the COC.
Okay, thank you. With closing, your range, are you not supposed to trade far away from where your agency is? Is there any of those thresholds and catchment areas? Where do you trade from?
I can sell any house in South Africa as long as it's within the borders of South Africa.
Okay, thank you very much. Your information is on the screen. People will contact you there. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.